Hi, good afternoon, everyone. Okay, so maybe I can say the heavy lunch may be kicking in, but here we are there. I think you can see a very long panel list. So the topic is also like very interesting, and uh, so as it was mentioned here, the AI. So what is a buzzword? AI, right? So, but the innovation is not going to take a backseat. So whatever we do, what we want is like open up a startup. Like that is a first dream. Then you set up your company. There is a goal. Then you work for it. Then you want to get the customer. Then after that, it is basically what are you going to, how are you going to actually take control of the situation? So how are you going to be ahead of the curve? That is the main point, right? So now, in the startup journey, many of us, or all of us maybe, sometimes we would have stumbled upon something like, okay, what would be the next line we should take, or what should be the next step we should take? VC funding and other things are different, but anyway, it all comes through. So other than that, as a technology, we should take it or not. And basically, we need to take this particular decision to move on. And now there are a lot of changes happening in the industry which comes in. So what to take also, right? So now, so what are we like? We call ourselves the proudly call us digital natives. So what is a digital native? Have you thought about it, anyone? Okay, so let me break the secret. So we are all digital natives because we can read, write, use the technology and use something which understand the technology. So we are all part of it. So don't worry, we are all part of it, right? So in the digital world, how we are actually going to take, and this discussion, now breaking this, what we are going to discuss here is, so basically in a digital native world, what we need to do is like enter the stage like this, right? That is a company. We enter the stage, we understand it, then the technology, then after that we prepare for it. Then what are the other things? What is the buzzword currently in technology? Can anyone say? Let me again check how awake you are. What are the buzzwords? Generative AI, great. That is I was expecting that as a number one. Anything else? Cloud. Oh, that is old, right? Right. And sorry. Okay. And other thing is one thing we are not getting something called security. Zero trust. Yes. So then other thing is like we are talking about all this, but how are we actually making our way to get into this? How are we preparing for it? If someone else is doing, are we trying to do, or we are trying to find out whether we should do it? That is the second part, right? So other thing is like all these points. Then finally, there is a list of people who are affected by end of this product, right? Even Zomato, everybody is affected. How many people have not ordered Zomato last week? Okay, only 2 people have not ordered. My question was slightly different. Not I said, right? So the point is like, this is how the things are going to affect us. Okay, so coming back, so the panel is eagerly waiting for the questions. So let me break out the questions so that we can have a eagerly session. And also, maybe I will come to you guys also. So be awake. So to answer the questions. Okay. So Chandresh, this starting from you are being the first, and people who want to start with the AI. So there are many people I have been talking to the panelists. So there are people who are fond of AI or not fond of AI. But since the crowd wants to start with AI, let us start with that. Okay. So the AI first to AI drive. That is where we have, right. So how are you envisioning the part of AI coming in for as part of a digital native culture to build it, as well as even in your organization or any other organization, how important a part the AI is going to play?
So I'll focus on our organization, our industry, how AI will change, or so let's look at, forget about how AI will change. Let's look at what does a customer need and how can AI help. I think that is the question we need to ask. It is customer first, and how can technology help in mitigating those challenges and working on the opportunities that are there in the market. So I come from a EV charging industry. We are a company that develops EV charging hardware and software. Now, the biggest problem that we see today when it comes to our industry and how AI can help in that is we are all as an industry, we are user of the grid that is there. The grid is the source of all electricity today, at least today in India, where vehicles are charged. Now, the biggest problem for the grid is any industry you take today, any industry, there is predictability when the power will be used. Very clearly, grid knows that this is the time this industry will use power, right? But in EV charging, that is not possible, because when the vehicle will come to the charger and when the power will be utilized is unknown, and it will always be unpredictable. So what AI can essentially do is we can predict user behavior, which is so important. How the vehicles are charged, what distances are run. So that is the first thing. Other than that, what the power quality, the power usage, or the price of the power at a particular given time in the day. These are some of the things that can be worked. So that is a big opportunity for our industry, our organization as well. How do we leverage the power of AI to help our customers get better? So I think that is where we see as an organization or as an industry, where one of the things where AI will be very useful.
Okay, thanks, Chandresh, for that. So, Manas, right now, like I was mentioning, that there are things like, let us say we all do this revolution and innovation, and again, he touched upon what AI can do or what we can use according to the one of the use case. But what do you think as a part of risk involved in using AI? Because everyone is going behind AI, but what is your assessment of the risk which is involved in using AI, and what we should be more focused on mitigating, or is it a risk so we should not take it at all? So that is another question, right? So can you just see whether how we can actually marry these points?
Sure. So first thing is on the usage of AI, right? So while everybody is rushing, everybody knows that AI is going to be big, and everybody is rushing as to see how AI is going to be an integral part of their org stack, right, per se. But personally, I and our leadership team at DrinkPrime, we provide water purifiers on subscription, by the way, consumer company. So, I mean, AI has been useful to us in many small and big ways. I'll just give you an example. Last week, we came up with a new model of our water purifier. It did us few things. There was a few USPs, and we were brainstorming as to what to call this model. Should we go the Apple route and call someone X, X1, X2, and whatnot? Should we go another route and call something Neo, whatever, right? And the best solution that came was from ChatGPT, which all of us agreed on after 1.5 hours of brainstorming with our own ideas. So this is just one small use case. From this to content writing to our tech teams being vastly more effective with the help of AI co-pilots, helping them code better. These are all small areas in which companies are using AIs. Now, with respect to the risk, I feel with every new technology that comes, people tend to overestimate the risk and underestimate the impact. So with AI, I certainly feel that, yes, there would be certain risks as with any new technology, but I think all of our lives would be vastly transformed. I mean, I am able to get at least a couple of hours in my day because of using AI to brainstorm certain things, maybe to create a simple diet plan, to sort of help prioritize my calendar, to little more complicated tasks like writing posts and things like that, right? Posts, emails and things like that. So I'm able to get a couple of hours, so which I'm investing in what can we do next, how can we delight our customers better. So even if there is no direct use case per se, I mean, obviously directly we are using in customer success and few other areas, but apart from that, also all of our productivity would get massively improved. All of us will have more time on our hands, and it's up to us on how we could use that time for the benefit.
Okay, so are you trying to say that to use at your own risk?
I would say let's get to the rewards first. All of us are still exploring the surface and figuring out in what shape or form it would be the best useful for us. Once we are able to get the rewards, then obviously, I mean, I think we are overestimating the risks per se. I
Correct.
personally feel so.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. So I think this is a very good point because many time wherever I have gone, and this topic is like without a none of the conversation happens nowadays. So this is a very common question, and risk and security is being discussed like from top to bottom. So this is a very good point that so if you remember, the cloud was there sometime back. Now people are not saying I am cloud first, I am the cloud company. Now people are saying that, okay, cloud has been taken over by AI. Now everybody is like, I am an AI company, I am looking forward to AI. But again, the same thing, I had actually, I'm just remembering, there was one discussion which happened like why we should take cloud and why, and also including an exit strategy. So this is a very good point because once we, before getting completely into it, let us know about it, understand it, understand the risk, but don't shy away from that because it is not only a buzzword, it is going to help us. But how is something we need to define? So agree, Manas. So coming to Ajay, so this is a great question. Like, okay, Manas just said that, okay, we need to do a controlled risk, right? Calculated risk, fine. So how can like we prepare ourselves? Like what would be your thought process on getting into a preparation mode for getting to this era of digital revolution where AI is leading and including so many other things, right? So basically what happens is like there is a lot of curriculum which happens and people get into that, colleges and the courses, but everyone talks about AI, but do you think there should be some more focus to actually get in that so that there is a preparedness comes in and we have more people equipped with to handle this? Because this is going to be the future, right?
So, in fact, no, I like to put things in a simple way. It's easy to understand, irrespective of the level the people are. Let's set a perspective. I mean, how do I just to probably making it on a lighter note? 7.5 years back, I started HappyLocate, which is today India's first one-stop relocation platform. So people can relocate on a single platform, packing, moving service, pet relocation, etc., etc. Then when I was pitching to investors, I used to call myself AI ML focused. Now it's only 3 years, 4 years later is what I understood. I'm nowhere near to AI. Now that's perspective one. So what I feel is, and I think every organization, small, medium, big, wants to scale today. And in fact, any entrepreneur for that matter, when he or she is starting up, definitely looks at scale. Somewhere the ambition is to scale to have a larger reach. And because I think we have gone through that journey, if I just put it in a very simple way, what we have seen, if our dependency on manual stuff is more, somewhere there is a burn involved. When you're trying to scale up, when you're trying to take that reach, there's a lot of burn and it's difficult, and that's where investments become mandatory. The only way that I see where it can be managed better or that burn can be controlled while you are scaling up in the journey is where I use this word AI, is where most of your repeat or transactional stuff is something which can be managed by it. Now that's how I look at it. So if, as a businessman, if I had to put it very straight, I think if you're looking at scale, if you're looking at larger reach, at a much lesser manpower cost, I think that's where it becomes very, very mandatory for us to use an AI. So simple, understanding where there is an automation needed. For anybody, I think, being more relevant to your question, understanding where there is an automation needed, where there are repeat tasks, and then starting to think, okay, how can I use a system which can take care of it without a manual intervention? That could be the beginning of the thought process, and then convert it into a lot of tools. Initially, we just started implementing 𝐓𝐡𝐞, which is a chatbot as well as entire marketing. They have automated the marketing channel. So that's where today we feel while we are scaling up this is the thought that we started. Today we are implementing it in form of an AI, and I think that's where we feel we'll be able to scale up at a much lower cost.
Right. So the one part is like the usage and how to get in and where we can start off. But what would be the to the generation, the coming generation? What do you think? What would be a preparedness we can give, or what should be included according to you?
I would say probably again, if I give a very real life example, not all founders are techie, and not all the mindsets of founders will be tech oriented. But I'm glad, I think the generation today is way more evolved when it comes to tool. The moment they want to do something, they look for a tool to do it. And like he rightly said, from a diet plan, from anything for that matter, they look for a tool. Is there a tool available? So I think that's already there in the DNA of the generation today while they're evolving, is what I feel. But like I said, I think if there could be course curriculum in universities, I was heading recruitments for Nokia India before HappyLocate. So I can talk of that because that's the generation that we were hiring campus. Now, if there could be a course curriculum in these larger universities, colleges, including the biggest of NITs, IITs that we talk so, and if it could talk about these tools or these facilities which can actually help them do what they are supposed to do in their respective functions, that can be a good start. In fact, I think IBM, Google, these are some of the great companies who have started doing some integrated program with these universities. If it can be made at scale, I think that would be ideal. If the internship should be made mandatory, if those tools, like I was just talking to a gentleman who was from Freedom App, who is giving online courses, if again an ecosystem of learning and being aware of such tools which can make their job in their respective fields that they are choosing easier, I think that would be a great start for the coming generation as a step into AI.
Yeah, I agree. So it has to start from the early ages, then it makes more sense to get in. Not otherwise, it will be like a Bangalore traffic, and we are building flyovers where it should have been there 20 years back. Yeah,
sure.
I agree with that. Yeah. So Varun, this may be your favorite question anyway, because you deal with it. So it's another the main point, like a security and privacy, which we can bring while selecting and running this overall revolution which we are talking about, the digital one, right? So what are your thoughts on it?
Can you just clarify? So
yeah, so basically the security and privacy which should be taken
when you are implementing AI.
Yes, implementing
solutions.
And so basically we are just going in the row like, okay, we are prepared, we are taking the risk, then we are learning, then we are decided, now getting in. Now the point is like, okay, I have done it, now who is going to hack it, right? So being from Bright Money, I think...
yeah, I can answer that. So, see, typically, most of the use cases which you'll be seeing on AI are agentic solutions, right? Which will, a lot of people are trying to automate a bunch of stuff that they're doing. And some of these may also involve components which are high risk. Essentially, let's say if you're trying to automate your financial reconciliation with an AI agent, and somebody having a wrong access to that agent can corrupt it, you can have a huge financial discrepancy in your books, which you may realize much later if you are like, automation is stable, I don't need to look at it if it's saying it's all good. So anytime when you are going beyond a chat interface to an agent which can execute a bunch of things, like execute code on your end, execute a bunch of APIs, do some let's say, research on the web and feed you information, and that information may be wrong, right? So, what access you have to whom in terms of how they can configure or corrupt it, that is something that you have to figure out. For example, I can give you an example. Let's say a bank is giving a AI chatbot to its customers. Let's say it has a set of use cases. It can even transfer money. It can give you data, and it had the way it was implemented. It could be hacked to get any other customer data. That will cause problems, even in a limited scope. So the interfaces that you are exposing and to whom you are exposing, there'll be a new set of challenges on the possible vulnerabilities there that have to be explored. And actually, Brightmoney is a fintech company, so like one of our vision is to particularly middle income, low income groups make quality intelligence available to them for managing their finances. And this is one of the things that I envision in the future AI will be most useful for, where services which are too expensive, if you have to let's say take the services from a human, it's too expensive. AI can actually make it available to the masses in a cheap way. And if you are making that happen, imagine somebody is corrupting that. Let's say you are trusting an AI to manage your health, or you're trusting an AI to manage your finances, and somebody corrupted a small part of it, which can just, only the last part where the money is refunded is corrupted. So that itself will cause a huge loss for the company and also a lot of reputation and trust loss for the solution.
Yeah, I think that's a good point. So just for the everyone around here, I'm just asking a question. The increasing trend we are seeing in the cyber crimes, do you think any hand on A? Just an open question. Your thoughts?
See, earlier, to social engineer something or even reverse engineer or find possible vulnerabilities, the amount of work that you had to do human work was much more. So as AI is automating our operations and let's say making our life easier, it's also making the lives of the hackers, the other side, easier. So I've not been in contact with any such person, so can't say exactly, but theoretically, it can be used to really make that process faster and probably cover a lot more ground than what they were earlier they could cover.
So basically it is the nutshell, it is be informed before using it and then expose once you are clear. After internally, if you are completely secured, that once you are committed, then you have to expose. That is what you are talking about.
I think when you are using it, the interfaces, where you are exposing and how you are exposing, like we do it in API, like cloud security, API security, like all our interfaces. Similarly, on that also you have to, like from first principles, think what is a possible way that someone can hack this or cause a reputation loss.
So this question I'm just asking you, everyone, what do you think? This particular question I asked Varun. So do you think is there any hand according to you? Just a Exactly. So you have to make sure the human beings who using should know it, right? That is the point. Absolutely. Okay, so
I just wanted to add here.
Yeah, please go ahead.
So when we are looking the AI, right now we are using how to use AI to improve the productivity. We want to use it in favor of our community or to the customer. And there are people who want to misuse the technology. Okay. So I can say I can see the opportunity. Right now we are looking the opportunity to improve the productivity. Now there is opportunity to use the similar AI to protect us. And that's where the new product and solution will come down the line, who will protect us from such guys. That is my...
Okay, fine. So I think Sachin, I'm getting one question for you since you have taken up that AI continuation. So anyway, we talked about the risk tolerance, and so in the BigHaat, I think you would have done a lot of evaluation, experimentation to come to this stage. So when we do this, the evaluation, the experimentation, and another thing which comes with as a byproduct is like the risk tolerance. So every experiment may not be successful, we get some hit. So how big the hit is. So what would be your approach and what is your recommendation to get into the risk tolerance and on the experimentation phase where we are actually building it?
So this is a very good question, and I can say when you look our financials, we are it means every penny we are optimizing. I can just correlate like when 2015 we started, you can assume the number, I will just throw the question, like how much we could have spent per month on the technology, leave it the human side, okay? Because I build the system. So I can just answer, so we spend only 1,000 rupees per month on the technology. So I can say from the day one, we came from the deep tech background and we know that we have a very limited capital and we have to optimize. So we believe on the Kaizen and management practices. We call it a STRAP in our previous organization. So plan something big, but try to do small things. Something is a A/B testing. Do in the small, test on the small people, understand the feedback, and based on the feedback, modify it. So in case of AI also, like we started the entire tech development around 4 years before. Once we realized that now ecosystem is ready because our customers are farmer. And always it's not like we want to build an entire universe, but first we have to define, narrow it down, that what activity, where we should focus first so that we can deliver the quality results. So I will just give you one of the product which we released in the market, that is a crop doctor, which farmers are using to detect the disease in their crop. So here first definitely we reused open system which was available in the market. We tested and then once product was built, now we decided like how to improve the efficacy of the result. And that's where then we continuously refined. So I can say every 3 weeks we are evolving and we are releasing new features, improved features. So I believe continuous improvement is the key.
Right. So the key point in that question was like how you were controlling the risk in the experimentation, because the problem happens is like sometimes we are too picky or too afraid to do experimentation, and there will be some profile or a composition we should take, right? So what is that secret or the buzzword to get there?
Yeah. So I will take, this is a classic example, crop doctor only, I will elaborate more. So to train the system, we need images. Okay, and we need at least for one case, we need around 1700 unique images. Okay, so I can say when we started, we reached out to Acrisat and they asked us around 1.5, 2 CR for the images. And we hardly raised till that time hardly 4 CR. So it was not possible for us. Then what we did, because then our previous experience helped us a lot. We decided, okay, we will release the result which is good and we are very much sure. And in the back end, we will continuously train the system. So it means again continuous improvement. And when we are giving the training to the system, so if any results identified wrong, our backend team continuously monitoring the outcomes, and then within 24 hours we said like, okay, one system will be trained, the system will throw the right result to the customer. So if we are not, it means our approach is give the rise. So we approach it.
Right. I think that was a very nice way of figuring that out. Okay, thanks for that. So Aditya, this is for you. I think Aditya is doing something which is very unique. Maybe you can talk about that also. In the context, I have actually 2 parts to it. One is how you are using AI. That is one part. Second part is like being this given to a set of users. So we are talking about like the digital revolutionaries, but a vehicle you are talking about, it is for everyone. So a person who doesn't know anything also should be able to use the vehicle, right? So in that case, how are you actually taking the governance model to protect that? So basically, when you are doing this, when you are imagining, when you are designing, when you are actually rolling it out, what is the AI is one component of it. How are you actually taking care of the governance?
First of all, at Green Tiger, what we are doing is we are converting existing petrol vehicles to either EV or hybrid. That's our one business model. On top of it, we are building our own IoTs and battery management system. So how AI plays a role in general automotive system and EVs is like, I'll just give you some 3-4 example. Per se, you are taking insurance every year for your vehicle, whether it is EV, whether it is petrol vehicle. Now, with the help of AI, what we can do, we can use on some parameters things like a rider behavior, rider score, and vehicle maintenance things. We can take the data of all those aspects, and according to that, every year we can have a different kind of insurance premium to everyone. So this is the one of the things which we can do. For EVs, you can consider an example of fleet management people. So you have consider a fleet of 100, 200 vehicles with you. Now you don't know where I need to deploy the fleet. So with the help of AI tools or with the help of data of where hotspots, where is the requirement of the things are more, we can put that much amount of vehicle there, and other side we can use less vehicles. So that way efficiency of the fleet owners will also increases. So, and few of the things like if you are riding a vehicle, you can get like theft alert, predictive maintenance alert. Again, if there is an accident, you can send a GPS location to your helpline number so that they can reach to their close one very easily. So these are few of the things which AI can help, and we are working on those particular aspects so that it will be more easy and efficient for our organization to grow. Second thing on governance you asked. So there is few things lacking, I would say, in part of governance, and you can consider as a regulational body as well. So for example, when I'm building something, we use some protocols while using it. For example, I'm writing a software, I'm using a MQTT protocols for the cloud. I'm using a CAN protocols. So there are right now different companies using different protocols. It's not fixed. So my sense is if regulationally body fix something on protocols and security aspects of it, it would become more scalable and more easy for everyone to grow better. It is right now, I think it is missing a bit, but eventually once a scale happens, slowly these parts will also be taken care of.
Okay, I think that was good. And how many of you have EVs in this group? How many you have petrol vehicles? A lot of customers for you. Okay. So, yeah, so this is basically the point is like, this is just not like a discussion. I think we need to see what is happening in practically also. So, whatever we see, if we are trying to observe, we'll find that there are so many new things which are coming, which is of use. So, those things are going to stay. The rest of it slowly evolves. So, this is one, one point which I want to just emphasize on this. So maybe we'll get to Ravi. So he's eagerly waiting for some of the new concepts. So Ravi, this so you have lots to explain, I know, but one is like the virtual reality, and there are so many other concepts which comes in as part of the AI, and we started with the chatbot to going to say that, okay, you can actually walk in directly to an airport. So now you can play as you are in space, and somebody, many videos comes, people play, and they go and smash the TV because they don't realize they are actually not in that space, but they get into that. So what is your thought process and on this this space which is getting into that virtual reality and AI-based engines, which is actually taking it, and in the one of the case I told is like smashing the TV. Do you think that AI is going to smash us sometime? So that is also, so basically we need to be very protective in any compact, right? So this is a revolution which we are helping somebody, but we should be protected from them. So These two aspects, so what are your thoughts?
Yeah, it's a good question and great question. I would like to start with my personal experience on metaverse, basically. Linking AI, I will come back. Okay. So before pandemic, I think I was in US, peak winter like this, December, January time. So I am a marathon runner. Okay. So once I travel from Bangalore to such a cold location, so I cannot do my early morning runs in US, right? So I used to do my long runs. Every Saturday I run minimum 20 kilometers. So one of the Saturdays, I went to gym and then started my long run on treadmill itself in US, okay, in hotel gym, okay. So then running on roads, running on treadmill is totally different. Not from the pain what you get on knees, ankles and all, but the experience point of view, okay. Running on roads, it gives a different experience, like you are running on different streets and then talking to multiple people and maybe run in groups and all, right? That time I was visualizing the route what I regularly run in Bangalore, okay, while running on the treadmill. So that is the right time when Facebook announced this metaverse, okay. Then I just connected the dots. Wow, this is going to change our experience basically. Like you said, if you are angry and want to smash the TV, don't really do it. Do it with metaverse. Enjoy the feeler. Your job is done, but TV is safe. Okay. So that level of experience, like you can work remotely and then you feel that you are sitting with your colleagues, like same office environment. Okay. Remote work is going to be future actually. Already we are experiencing because of the pandemic, but it is just Teams call what you attend, but you don't feel that background environment like a metaverse kind of thing. Those are the real positive use cases are there with metaverse. Coming to how to link this with AI, Gen AI standpoint, I work for a company called Element Technologies. We are specialized into data, AI, Gen AI space. We got one of the interesting use case from automobile design company. Okay, they wanted to accelerate their 3D model design of a car bumper, let's say. Okay. They have historically some thousands of such bumpers, and they don't want to spend every time 3 months to design that car bumper. So you just train the AI model and see with a button click with natural language prompt how system can generate. So we thought that is the end of the story. Okay, so we could successfully generate that 3D bumper image, and then later they said that okay, hold on, this is not the end of the story. Now we will feed this to metaverse. The design of the bumper will be fed to metaverse, and then using LS-DYNA they want to do the car simulation, car crash simulation with 30 kilometers speed. If you hit a wall, how the damage happened to the bumper. With 100 kilometers, what kind of damage is going to happen. So these kind of interesting use cases from the safety standpoint. Okay, so it's really going to revolutionary impact on the day-to-day life with metaverse combining with AI, Gen AI space.
Okay, I think that is a good way to take that perspective. So anyway, I'll come back to you on more. So Rama, for so in this field, so basically there's a lot of, so right now what is happening is like the technology is driving, earlier the mathematics used, we were telling mathematics is used in each equipments, including the hospital equipments we are using. Then it took over and astronomy, astrology, not astrology, astronomy, right? Not astrology. So then AI came in. So now the point is like the digital natives, as we are bringing technology in all aspects, and the global markets are actually getting affected to using this technology, innovation and drive, right? So in your experience and in your recommendation, what should be the, how this influence is going to persist? So basically the digital revolution is going to affect the global markets.
Sure. So I think end of the day, if you think about it, all that we're doing is figuring out how to use technology to still solve a business problem. that fundamental thing has not changed, right? Whether we use AI or we use some technology which we were using 30 years back. Just that the way of doing things has changed significantly, and what we can do has also changed. When it comes to global markets, ultimately the language they understand is of numbers, is of your bottom line. And there are a lot of cases where we use AI to do stuff that would have been extremely difficult earlier. An example that we've been spending our time on a little bit is, for example, fraud management. Doesn't matter which industry you are, human beings being human beings, you're always on the lookout for some way to break your systems to make money out of it. Now, if you have infinite bandwidth available, I'm sure you can go check each transaction one by one, dive into detail, figure out where the problem is, identify the fraud, fix it. The reality is that we are always playing a balancing game between all priorities. That's why something like an AI comes in very effectively to help you identify what kind of potential fraud is happening and how can you minimize that. That has a direct impact on your bottom line. Example could also be in terms of a problem that most of us encounter in some of our activities, collection of payments from our customers. As long as it is transactional, it's a pretty straightforward, I give you something, I take back something in return. What happens when this is actually more of a relationship? And you have to make sure that you collect the money at the right time. And you'll always have the human element where somebody says, I will pay money later on for some reason. We are in the home healthcare space. So we send nurses home, we send medical equipment home, we send physiotherapists, doctors all home. Patients don't necessarily pay immediately, especially because these are not services that they take only once. If a nurse comes to your home, quite likely they will be coming to your home for at least like 20, 30 days to provide you service.
So what you are saying is like the availability of information is going to influence, or?
The intelligence around the information to take decisions. The other aspect is, again, there's more from a back-end perspective, not so much from a consumer-facing end. You actually have a wide variety of people in your organization who are doing their day-to-day activities. Some of them will be doing repetitive activities, which, like some of you mentioned, is a prime category for AI to come and take over, especially agentic AI. But you also have people who are taking decisions today. And those decisions, a lot of us are depending on them to take the right decision. Be it the customer support agent who takes the right decision, be it the service manager who's working with the customers to take the right decision. Is there a way for us to use AI to guide them on the right decision to take, which then gets verified by them, utilized by them, take the right call? It will minimize a lot of some of the issues that you might face on an ongoing basis.
Fine. So that is an aspect on how it can affect. So now, Manas, this is for one of the questions which you will like, because you are in the field of one of the most important things which we all need, right? That is what you are manufacturing. So basically this question is on sustainability and how this is going to, influence the environment and sustainability aspects. Basically, we are all driving it in one side, but do you think this is going the right direction, or what we should do to bring it more to the environment and more towards sustainability?
So the question is around how AI will impact sustainability.
AI is going to influence bringing in sustainability. Also, how on an environmental impact, or it is going to be an influencer for environment as well.
Sure. So AI is a force multiplier for all of us, right? It basically adds hours into our days and makes us superhuman in a way. Humans who use AI to the best of its capabilities. Now, sustainability, we humans over the last few years have deeply cared about sustainability. There has been numerous initiatives, even certain things like just in the traffic light, I see more cars switching their engines off, all the way to more closer to our industry and myself. So many of our customers reuse the RO water to clean their dishes, mop the floor and so on and so forth, right? So the biggest impact that AI is going to have is AI is going to tell you how how sustainable or sort of lay the impact of sustainability clearly in front of you. Now, if you know that as an individual you are wasting enough water which could be consumed by a family of 2 people, or you're wasting enough food which took someone 3 months to grow, some of these data points, so that automatically makes you sort of more responsible in your actions day in and day out. So that's number one. Number two is obviously some of the sustainability initiatives, like any other organizations, right? Their efficiency would get tremendously impacted if they use AI the right way.
Okay, so continuing that question, so so basically you have given some examples of when you just stop at the signal, the car switches off, and basically what we are talking about, it is the driven features intelligently, it is taking to a state where it is going to become more environment friendly, right? So now it is, yeah, maybe I know that this is a very good question. All the honjos are really holding on to the mics. So the point I was asking is like, other than that, so like environment friendliness. So let us say that, see, in your field it is like you are completely dealing with water, but people are dealing with money. People are dealing with vehicles. Vehicles anyway, fine. People are dealing with products, the manufacturing products. But all the places, it can have an impact, right? So that was my question. So you can answer, or anyone can pick up this question, no problem.
I just want to add, actually, we have to see, being a founder or being an innovator, we have to see how we can use AI in favor of our community. And use cases will be different. AI, one aspect of the sustainability, like we are using a lot of data, energy we are consuming, that is a different part of debate. But let's talk about the impact side. I want to share about the agriculture, because that is right now I can say we have to work. No one is looking towards this. We see, being a moral responsibility, being a tech guy, we decided work here. So our program itself name is a Sustainability Development Program. Under that program, we work closely with the farmers. We build one product called Big Trace. Under that, we are bringing the traceability. The crop doctor, what I talked about, that crop doctor, we are getting a lot of insight. That insights, we are helping farmers to take the right decision at the right time. So what does it mean? It means how much chemical they should use. If they are using the chemicals in the preemptive way, then they will be using the less chemical. They will be able to save the crop. They will be getting a more than 30% improvement in the yield. So indirectly, it's adding to the carbon credits. So that's where like we are in the process right now. Last year, we had run more than 50,000 acres this program. And under that, we developed the carbon credits for the farmers. Now we are thinking how to use this, integrate the two technology together, so that it should help farmers to take the right informed decision at the right time. System should help based on the different parameter what they should do. And then system should be able to help that if they will follow the certain things, this much carbon credit they will be able to generate. The problem then it will come, then we have to say integrated way. So now the carbon credit, it means it's a registry. Somewhere it should be registered so that it should not be misused. So I can see, being an innovator, being a founder, this is our responsibility, how we can leverage the technology and benefits to the ecosystem.
Ravi, you want to add?
Yeah, I'm happy to add value here, because sustainability is something close to my heart. I come from ERP background, enterprise resource planning. You take it any tier 1 ERP like SAP, Oracle, and you see every country today talking about sustainability. Green ledger, what we call, not financial ledger, it's a carbon footprint green ledger. Okay, and many companies even when they import certain goods, okay, they are asking you give me your green ledger report. Okay, how you have manufactured this particular product, what kind of raw materials, packaging materials used in the manufacturing side. So today, if you look at any ERP we are using in the market, they come with embedded AI right from each and every transaction that we perform, in terms of procurement, in terms of supply chain, or in terms of production, everywhere AI is going to help what kind of raw materials, packaging materials that we should pick and choose for your product manufacturing and then even supply chain. Okay, so whether it is good to go by road or electricity, train. So what are the channels, whatever possible channels where you can save the carbon footprints and then track it to your green ledger. Okay, so that is the where AI is making a key role in terms of building green ledger balance.
So this is a very it's like a I would say it is not only important, it is supposed to be the most thought to be thought about aspect of it, sustainability. So just a question to all, like how many of you are actually trying to reuse something? It can be anything, which once you are thinking that okay, it is almost done, okay, can I remake and reuse, or let me go and replace? This is just a question for all. Yeah, please go ahead. So basically like a laptop, okay? So I am using a laptop, and maybe after 4 years, so I just want to buy a new laptop, or let me just refurbish or refresh the laptop and use it. So anybody is on that thought process, or we are just like, okay, let me exchange it, or let me just keep it and buy a new one? So what would be your thought process? Okay. Right, right. So you're talking about when you're removing a laptop, recycling it, right? So my point is like refurbishing and using it again. Okay, so it's a one of the sustainability aspect is coming in is like AI is playing a role. So the company I work with is Blubirch. We take care of the return automation. So all the returns are taken, refurbished, refreshed, even recycled if it cannot be, and it comes back to the market again. So this is the brand is Blubirch, but the name of the company is Green Enabled IT Solution, right? So the reason I'm saying is like it is adding to the sustainability of it, and AI is playing a major role to identify the major problem everyone is facing now is like if you want to use a old product, how good it is, right? So if somebody is giving an assurance, that is why certified cars gets more sale, even though you are ready to pay a little more. So this is a place where AI is making a lot of impact on, and it is adding to the sustainability. Okay, so this is a good point, and my last question on this. After that, I can get one or two questions from the audience also, and it is for Chandresh. So, so this is a question which.
If I'm allowed, I want to add something on sustainability.
Yeah, sure, sure. Please go ahead.
Yeah, so I think we as Indians, no, we are innately very sustainable. I remember my childhood, okay? Every last bit of toothpaste we have used. Every last piece of soap we have held together and used it again. So it is innately there in us. But the reason might be different. It might be economic. But yeah, it's that is also some sort of sustainability. But again, when you do that, essentially, you're not just bringing sustainability in one form, but in every form. It is a mindset. So it is all about mindset. I think that is the most important part. He spoke the same thing, right? As founders, we have to be certain way innovative and do things. So I think we don't need to learn sustainability from anybody. It's innately there in us.
Yeah, yeah, please, sir.
Everybody said, refurbishing or, recycling kind of. What of late, there are so many companies that have evolved where we try to, identify the digital divide where people are not able to use the laptops kind of. So we try to get into there and then give the systems, give a training kind of, and then those laptops which are, not usable by the other people who are in the mode of getting the upgradations. So these laptops are put there, and then that is how it is being worked out now, of late. Very recently, so many systems are getting transferred there.
Yeah, I think that's a very good point. And my the next question was, thank you, sir, for this. Yeah, please go ahead. Can we get a mic there? No problem. You'll get a we'll amplify your sound.
Oh, really? All right, great.
Thanks.
It's very warm in Singapore. All the time we have about 32 to 34, 36 degrees Celsius, and most of the time everyone has to wear it. Just a minute. Camera is here. I have to smile. Thank you.
Please go on.
All right. Yeah. So what happened was that everyone would be wearing a tie and coming to the office. As a part, because I'm a Lean Six Sigma Master Black Belt, so sustainability comes in only from that. What we did was, during summer, especially in Asia, we made sure that everyone will have a light color cloth and they do not wear a tie. And then we brought down the air conditioning temperature and we saved a lot. So there are a lot of these innovative kind of things that what we are using there. You know what I mean? Like, okay, so during summer you cannot wear a tie, you cannot come to the office because you're wearing a tie and coming to the office. The air conditioning is going up because everyone is feeling very hot. Why can't it be the other way around? So that's one part of the initiative what we have taken from Ivy Education Center in Singapore, right? So that's what I wanted to add on to it.
Absolutely, I think that is a good point. I'll come back to you with my last question around, and I think we have the time is up, but still I will get your question up, right? So, and thanks for being very reactive and also engaging. So the question was, the sir just told, can we take these laptops which are giving, and so this question is around like a underserved community. So I don't want to use that word. I don't know. I'm not getting a better word to use that word. But we are talking about the people who are actually having a job, and there are things which we are taking, and which we are they can actually take care of themselves. And but there are communities, especially in India. So how do you think we can enable AI? So this was one point he said. But do you think something else we can do? Because that is a thought process where we can bring it to actually bring AI in action to play for underserved?
Yeah. So I'll again come back to the industry I work in, that is EV industry, and we closely work with drivers, fleet vehicle drivers. Like maybe we work with more than 20,000 drivers on an average. And the biggest pain that they face today is when they are using the vehicle battery. Very, very small thing I'm saying. They have no idea what is going to happen to it, when it will go bad, what they will have to pay to, again, maybe refurbish or get a new one, or have a second life for it. So I think what we as an industry or company can essentially do is, there are models, create battery passports, essentially. Understand the exact thing that is happening inside the battery, and that data is given to them, the way they have to use it, how much they have to use it, at what point they need to charge, when they don't have to charge it, what kind of charging, what locations to do it. All these small things, if they are taken care of for these guys, essentially it becomes, it adds life to the number of more runs they can do on that vehicle. And that is a big money saver for this. And I am saying this because most of these people come from lower socioeconomic strata, if I may use that. And their lives, I have seen it, on day-to-day basis, they struggle to make ends meet. So I think that is one of the things that we can essentially do. Yeah.
Okay, great. So maybe can we get a mic? So I'll just take 2 more minutes. Yeah, please give.
Hi, I'm Ram Lingeshwara KV, founder of Niram. In case of sustainability, I would like to add one more point. I'm having a trust, Niram Foundation. With that, we do welfare activities. We made one slogan saying that re-life before recycle. If anything, e-product is before sending to recycle, whether it is working or not, if it is in very good working condition, we will donate to the wherever it is need. So from my friends, I mean, as I'm having trust, my friends given old monitors, big monitors, and also speakers, such kind of, I mean, electronic items. So we went to the government schools, whether they need these items, so we given to them. So in that way, it can be helpful to the many people before sending to recycle. That was very successful.
I think that was a very good move. Thank you for that.
Thank you.
Okay. Yeah, okay. So I'll take one more. Yeah, please go ahead.
In terms of EV industry, I think the whole ecosystem should be tracked by AI, right from the grid and renewable energy sources and the loads coming onto the grid and the renewable energy sources to the battery management system. Everything should be tracked and optimized and made efficient, because problem can be anywhere. Finally, it will affect the EV charging and all. So to make it efficient, you have to build systems and algorithms to track every subsystem of this entire ecosystem.
Across the supply chain, yes.
So that you make the whole thing efficient, right from beginning to end. And in terms of metaverse, I think metaverse can be used in the educational field to a large extent. The teacher can come into the hall where he is displaying some videos to make students understand. He can actually conduct the experiment in metaverse so that it will be more impactful to the students. They catch it better because they see the teacher really conducting the experiments instead of videos. So I think the complete ecosystem should be targeted by AI.
Okay, thank you, sir, for that. So I think the time is up. So let me just summarize what we started and what we want to do versus what we have actually gone through. It is basically where we started was how to set up, whether should we do it, and the risk involved, should we take a calculated risk? Then the answer is like, yes, we should get into it, because it's not only the reason it is trending, it is going to help us. So the point is like, there are places where things have, the people who were supposed to protect us has attacked. So you need to be very careful in taking it, keep that calculated risk and experiment it and understand it, and keep the proper security in place and open it up gradually, and also bring up your next generation. Basically, in next generation may be our children or the youngest employee in the organization, so that they can actually take care of it. That is that's a part of it. And another thing is like, when we go more and more, you can experiment with the parts like any new technology comes with AI. Check it, the models, before using it. After that, once you employ it, then see that how the ROI is coming in. And after that, basically see whether this implementation, what you are doing, how it is going to affect you, your country, as well as the global markets. So this is where it is lying right now. And the road is very green, and it is rich right now, and it is trending. So you should get into it with all the cautions and the security in mind. And thank you all the entire panelists. And also it was very enriching, sir, all the people who actually contributed. So thanks for making it very engaging. Thanks a lot. Thank you, guys.